Hey everybody, this is Fulio of Echale Porras Productions, and today's Thanksgiving, and just like last year, we're gonna show you everything that we're making for Thanksgiving dinner in a more hodgepodge style, which includes spatchcocked turkey, mashed taters, southern green beans, clam chowder, and Chipotle mac and cheese. Let's get started. Woo! So this is everything we're going to be using for today's dinner. Here we have celery, onion to make the mirepoix for the clam chowder and also for the southern green beans. We have our stuff for our mashed potatoes, our clam chowder, our Chipotle mac and cheese, a big ass bag of green beans, and most importantly, our star, the turkey. So before moving on, we actually need to go back in the past to show you how we spatchcocked and got this turkey ready to dry brine. Let's go check that out. So we're back to the night before, and we are going to prep our turkey by spatchcocking it and getting our salt and seasoning on this so we can dry brine this in the fridge overnight. As we've gone over before in last year's Thanksgiving video and in our spatchcocked chicken video, we are gonna spatchcock this turkey, which basically means we're just cutting out the backbone and laying it flat. Once you get that flat and all on even ground, it's gonna cook a lot more evenly, so your breasts are gonna be nice and juicy, and the thighs will come up to temperature at the same time. So let's start off by getting the gizzards and all the stuff out of the cavity. So let's go. Oh, this turkey packing. So that's the neck. And then you get this big ass cavity. Look at this boy. All right, definitely pat this sucker dry. You don't want your knife to slip. You don't want your hand to slip when you're cutting out this backbone, which you're gonna cut it from the neck part here up until the little fundillo, the butt, the tail, the coccyx. So just be very careful. Have a good sharp knife and have a good handle on what you're doing. So all right, once you have your bird flat or as flat as it's gonna be, our breasts this year are a bit lopsided, but that doesn't matter because all breasts are beautiful. So we are gonna do what's called a dry brine on this turkey, which is why we're starting the night before. All we're gonna do is get seasoning all on the meat, all on the skin, and then we're gonna let it sit in the fridge overnight uncovered. That's gonna allow the seasoning and the salt to penetrate the meat and to dry out the skin a bit so we get that nice crispy skin that we want. What we're gonna do first is uncover our breasts, and we're going to rip back, expose these breasts in all their glory. There it is. And we're just gonna get our seasoning, which is just a combination of salt, paprika, thyme, all those Thanksgiving flavors. Doesn't really matter as long as it's something you want. Nice and salted. You can be very liberal with your seasonings because it's a good amount of meat. I think this is a 18-pound bird, bigger than the one we did last year. Get all the exposed meat. The turkey will not mind you rubbing its breasts. You can put the skin back on. We're gonna take out our thighs. Once you get the skin nice and loosened up, you'll just be able to pop out like nothing. Uncover those thighs, and since we took out the backbone, the only thing here connecting this is skin. So we can manipulate this as much as we want to. Work some into the leg meat. Cover your thighs again. Just slip the skin back on. Nobody will know you checked out them thick thighs. But what we are gonna do next is now get our seasoning all on skin of the bird. Now, with our lopsided breasts, we're going to let this sit in the fridge overnight uncovered. It's gonna let the seasoning work its magic, and we'll see you back tomorrow, which through the magic of video will be right now. All right, so as you saw, we cut out our turkey's backbone. It was a bit of a struggle because this is a big boy or big girl with thick thighs and kind of deformed breasts, but as we said, it's still beautiful. As you can see here, the meat has darkened a bit, and that just means that the salt has worked its way into the turkey. We left it overnight, probably a good 12 hours we left it. While that's ready, we're gonna get everything else prepped so we can try and get all our dishes cooked at around the same time. So we're gonna put this sucker aside for now. We have the turkey waiting on the sides, and now we're gonna get to marinating our ham. So here's a pretty unprocessed piece of ham. We don't really like the sweet glazes that usually come on these hams, so what we're gonna do is we are going to marinate it with our al pastor marinade that we've done before for our al pastor tacos and for our gobernador fries. But we're gonna liven it a bit up with some lemon and lime juice, and we are ready. Well, first, what we're gonna do is we are going to get some of this fat and trim it off of our ham, because that's a pretty good amount of fat. It's gonna take some time for that to render down, and some fat is good, but you don't want too much. Of course, if you want to keep it, you can. As we usually say, as much or as little as you want. And we're just gonna put off that fat to the side, and we should be ready. So we are also gonna make some scores in this, give our marinade some room to get in there. And then you can just go ahead and pour this on and then start massaging it into the meat from there. Of course, make sure your hands are clean. Constantly wash your hands when you're dealing with meat, raw meats like the turkey and the ham, for your safety, for the safety of the people you're cooking for. And once you have that nice and marinated, we can go ahead and put that with the turkey so it rests, and then we'll get it in the oven a little later once we got some more stuff going. Okay, so now we can start prep for our other dishes. What I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna cut up some potatoes for our mashed taters. So I personally don't mind the skin in my mashed taters, so it makes this easier and it adds a little bit of texture. Right, and there are our potatoes. We're actually gonna go ahead and chop up everything, our green beans, our onions, our celery, and we'll get back for the actual dish assembly. Okay, so everything we're making today, we've actually done in a video before. We've done a spatchcocked chicken. We're gonna make Chipotle mac and cheese, which we just made a short out of, and the original video is still up. It's the first video on this channel. We're gonna do a clam chowder and mashed potatoes, all of which we've done on the channel before. We'll do a quick recap of what we need to do, but I'm not gonna show the full process. What we haven't done before is Southern style green beans. And really, they're super simple. You just need to let them simmer for a while. Obviously, you need green beans. You're gonna need some bacon and you're gonna need some onion. That's kind of the basic of what you need. We're gonna get the bacon in our pot. Then once that's rendered out and not too crispy, we're gonna throw our onions in along with the bacon fat, and the salt is gonna draw the moisture out of the onions and help them get tender and nice and caramelized. Once we're done with that, we're gonna throw in our green beans. We're gonna fill the pot with chicken stock, water, any kind of stock that you want to use. We're gonna get it just above the green beans, and then we're gonna let it come to a boil. We're gonna lower the heat and let it simmer for at least 1 hour. We're gonna get that on the stove. We're getting the oven preheated to 350. We're gonna cook our turkey in there, our ham in there, and then once our Chipotle mac and cheese is ready, we're gonna get that in there as well. So to recap, for our clam chowder, we're gonna start it off with the same base as the southern green beans. We're gonna get some bacon rendering down in the pot, and then we're gonna throw some onion and celery in there. We're gonna soften those up. Then we're gonna throw in our heavy cream, some stock, juice from the clams, and we're gonna let that all come together, a couple bay leaves, and then we're gonna throw in potatoes and let it boil until the potatoes are tender. Then after the potatoes are tender, you're gonna throw in your clams for a very small amount of time, like 3 minutes, and they should be ready to go. For our Chipotle mac and cheese, if you haven't seen the short or the video yet, we're gonna blend our chipotles with about 2 cups of heavy cream, along with your spices, your garlic. Then we're gonna go ahead and put our remaining heavy cream into our pot along with our chipotle mixture. Let that come to a boil along with a bit of a flour or cornstarch slurry to get it thick. Once it's boiling, we're gonna take it off the heat, and then we're gonna incorporate our cheeses in there. We're gonna introduce our pasta into that mixture, and then bake that off at 350 for about 30-40 minutes. For today's Southern style green beans, I also threw in the backbone of the turkey to cook along with the bacon, and it's gonna boil and simmer along with the meat, the green beans, and that's gonna add some nice turkey stock, some turkey flavor to our dish. We're not gonna eat the backbone, we're just using it and its bones to give us some great flavor. And there we have it, Thanksgiving dinner of Echale Porras Productions 2020. We have our ham, turkey, southern green beans, chipotle mac and cheese, mashed taters, clam chowder. And this is just dinner. Dessert, we probably won't show off in this video because we're gonna keep it from next video, but keep on the lookout for that. But it's time to try it. Where can you go wrong with a big ass turkey leg? This ain't as big as the ones at like fairs, but it'll do. So juicy. That juice from the turkey, that juice from the butter, delicious. This I'm excited to try. First time trying to make it. Some southern green beans. What can I say? I make good shit. Chipotle mac and cheese, it's a favorite and it's awesome. As Moneybags would say, it has a nice cheesy taste. Mashed taters. Some al pastor ham. Still delicious. Clam chowder, dude. And wash that all down with a nice Jack and Coke. This has been dinner by Echale Porras Productions, Thanksgiving 2020. We hope everyone has or had a great Thanksgiving. Maybe you'll watch this next year for 2021 and hopefully everything's better by then, or at least a bit better by then. But anyways, I gotta go change because everyone else looks good and I still look bummish. But let's end it here. Happy holidays, stay safe, stay awesome,